Okay, Brian, we're on.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our virtual meeting. The purpose of this meeting is for the Parkhill Main Street Reconstruction Project. I want to thank everyone for coming. It is 6 o'clock, so we will get started. And I'll turn this over to Jonathan Lampman at this time.
Thanks, Brian. As Brian mentioned, this is the Parkhill Main Street Rehabilitation. So tonight, the intention is to go through, we're going to give you slides, show you schedule, show you kind of where the design is at, basically at a 60% design, walk through everything, a couple housekeeping things. So first, if you have a question, just raise your hand. So I believe it's in the bottom right corner of your screen. Raise the hand, we'll go around and answer everybody's questions. We ask that you allow Stuart, who will be on next, to go through his slideshow. It takes about 10-12 minutes. Then we'll ask questions at the back end and we'll address your questions and concerns. Just so everybody knows, there are surveys online for this through our website. We ask that you fill those out. The surveys will close on February 4th, at which point we will compile the information, take it to council, and show them basically the feedback that we've received in addition to tonight's meeting. With that, I'll hand it over to Stuart from SEMA. He is the project lead for SEMA Engineering, and he's going to walk us through the slides.
Thank you, Jonathan. So as you indicated, we're here to talk about the Parkhill Main Street Rehabilitation Reconstruction Project. Just as a quick agenda, I'll go through the scope and the purpose of the project, outline a preliminary schedule, what we're looking at today, give some feedback as to the preliminary staging that we're looking at to try and minimize some of the impact to the people in Parkhill, and talk briefly about the anticipated traffic controls and access. Then, as Jonathan mentioned, there has been a survey out there, and we'll speak to some of the results of that survey. And then the most important thing today is that we're here just to provide you some information and to get your feedback related to this project. So the project right now is encompassing the replacement and the upgrading of the water main on Parkhill Main Street from Elginfield Road to Parkhill Drive, and on Elginfield Road and Elliott Street out from Parkhill Main to West Park Drive. As part of the replacement, we'll be replacing the service laterals to property line. And also as part of the project, we are looking at doing a small section of sanitary sewer replacement on Mill Street, on Parkhill Main Street between Mill and Hastings, and then a short stretch on Hastings Street. So the project is being planned to address certain limitations within the existing distribution system for provision of fire protection throughout the community. And the sanitary sewer upgrade is also being planned to address a shortfall in conveyance capacity to accommodate some planned growth on the east side of town. This project is being coordinated with some planned upgrades at the Parkhill Reservoir and Pump Station, and they will go generally concurrently, but they will be undertaken as two separate projects. Tonight's discussion is really just about the work on Parkhill Main Street. So, in terms of project status, under the Environmental Assessment Act, the project's being planned in accordance with a schedule, or in accordance with the Class EA planning process, and it is considered as a Schedule A+ undertaking. And what that means is that the project is pre-approved under the Environmental Assessment Act. Notwithstanding that pre-approval, we do need to approach the Conservation Authority and the Ministry for their approvals, as well as coordination with the county for works on their road. So the project is going to be funded primarily by your water user rates. The growth-related costs will be funded in part through your municipal development charges, and roadway improvements on Parkhill Main Street will be funded by the county. So what we have now are some preliminary design drawings for the water main replacement. And we're starting off at Elliott Drive, and you can see here we're planning on installing the new water main on the south side of the road, just off the edge of the road. As we head east, we will cross Elliott Drive and then enter onto Elginfield Road on the north side, and then tie into Parkhill Main Street on the east side of the roadway. Heading north along Parkhill Main, we'll be looking at building a new water main down the east side of the roadway, very, very close to the existing curb. The plan will be to use the existing water main, or to keep the existing water main in service throughout construction, so there will be minimal interruption to your water service. We'll build the new water mains, build the new services to property line, get it all tested and commissioned, then transfer services to your private water services before decommissioning the existing water main. So the water main will be extended all the way through, crossing underneath the Cameron Gillies drain, all the way up to Parkhill Drive. This shows the extent of the sanitary sewer replacement that's being planned. So a short stretch just on Parkhill Main, as well as one reach on each of Mill Street and Hastings Street. In terms of schedule, we're looking to complete the design in April of this year, and looking to tender in May, and then going through process to award with the start of construction later this summer in July or August. With the anticipated completion of construction later this year. Some of the final restoration of the works will likely be deferred until the spring of 2023. And following completion of the work, everything will be subject to a 2-year warranty period. So as of right now, we're looking at constructing the works in 3 stages. The first stage, excuse me, the first stage will be construction of the water main from Parkhill Drive down to the Cameron Gillies drain. We're not certain yet whether we'll stop on the north side or the south side. That's still to be determined. But we'll get that water main installed, tested, commissioned, and transfers or services transferred. And then initiate the restoration of the road surface, curbs, and sidewalks before moving on to stage 2. Stage 2 will be construction of the new water main from the Cameron Gillies drain down to Elginfield Road. And we'll go through the same process and get the roadway restored at least to base asphalt. Third stage will just be the extension of the water main on Elginfield Road and Elliott Drive over to tie into the existing water main on West Park Drive. In order to go through this construction program, what we're looking at in terms of traffic control through the construction period will be, for stage 1, that segment of road will be closed to through traffic. Local traffic or local access will be maintained. We're looking at detouring traffic between Elginfield Road and Parkhill Drive along West Park Drive, Mill Street, and Station Street. As I indicated, access to your private property will be maintained. There may be short durations where access will be restricted. Essentially, when we're installing the services across your driveway, obviously your access will not be available, but it will be made available on a daily basis. Stage 2 will be construction of the new water main from Cameron Gillies down to Elginfield Road. And same thing, we'll be looking at closing that segment of road with local access only. Through traffic would be detoured between Elginfield Road and Parkhill Main Street along West Park Drive and Mill Street. And again, access to your private property will be maintained at all times. Finally, on stage 3, we're looking at keeping 1 lane of traffic open at all times on Elliott Street. and Parkhill Main Street would be fully reopened to traffic at that point. As Jonathan alluded to, there has been a survey that has been circulated, asking to see if there is any desire to improve the streetscape along Parkhill Main Street. The plans currently are just to reinstate what is there, with new asphalt, new curb and gutter, new sidewalks, but basically to reinstate what is there. There is an opportunity, since we are working through this area, that we could improve streetscape issues, some improved illumination, pedestrian crossings, street furniture, whatever is in everybody's best interest or everybody's interest, and is obviously subject to council approval. So we encourage everybody to complete their questionnaires if they haven't already. So the next few slides just are providing an indication of what the responses have been to date on the questionnaire. Okay, you're skipping through them quickly.
Yes, kind of through. I'm sorry, Sterry.
Or I'm getting slow, whichever it is. So
No, just move it through.
okay, so on the question 4 about sidewalks, everybody's looking for concrete sidewalks, or the majority are. The question 5, access is primarily through driving or walking, so very limited bicycle demand. Any indication of property flooding? There is some indications here, so we will take a look at where issues are, but we'll see what can be done, but as part of that. Accessibility concerns, we will take a look at the responses to see what issues there are and try to address those as well as we can. Any specific needs that we were looking for, certainly what we're anticipating is some inconvenience, some dust and noise, but in general, I don't think there's a major concern other than your typical construction related issues. Apparently everybody sees that the vegetation along Parkhill Main is in good condition, so that's good news. People who have direct access don't have any issues with their driveways. This question was related specifically to those individuals who may need frequent deliveries to their properties. And is intended not just to speak to those that want to make sure that they get to their property once a day. If you have a business that is having multiple deliveries in a day, or if you're in need of specific health-related deliveries, we need to know that so that we can keep some provisions within, or write some provisions into the contract to get that addressed. So in closing, we want to complete the design of this project and get this project tendered to start construction summer of 2022. We're here to answer any questions or discuss any specific aspects that you may want to discuss tonight.
Thanks,
So I'll put it back to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the floor is open to any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. Again, just raise your hand. John Graham will unmute you. You ask your question and we go from there.
We're not seeing any hands up yet, so
No questions yet.
no questions yet. I'm gonna put a 15-minute timer on in regards to anybody who wants a question or an answer. This is a little bit longer than before. Oh, we got one. Oh, I think that was an error. It came down. So 15-minute timer in consideration. The presentation was 15 minutes. Again, if a question comes to you later in time, please reach out to staff and we'd be more than willing to answer your question. So 15 minutes starting now.
Just so everybody knows, I don't know if I touched on this right at the beginning, but this is a recorded session. It will be made available via our website. People that are watching on YouTube right now are obviously seeing it, but it is recorded, and we will have access. Anybody will have access to it after the fact. It usually takes a time for it to buffer after, so it won't be ready immediately after this meeting, but by tomorrow, everything should be up. Looks like we got a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Debbie Wiseman in. Debbie, it may take a little bit for you to come in, but you will have to unmute. Debbie, you there? Debbie? Debbie, you're unmuted, so you should be able to speak. John, do you want to pull down the PowerPoint presentation as well? Just go, yeah, there you go. Debbie? Debbie might be having some problems. So Debbie, you can email staff. I'm gonna put you on mute again and lower your hand. We could try again later, but if you want to email staff tomorrow, we'll be more willing to follow up.
John, there was a question in the chat from Monica Carter. So drainage on Mill Street. Will this address the flooding at the west side of the gallery? Okay, so Monica, your question. So the works that are going to occur on Mill Street are not necessarily drainage related. When we said sewers, we're talking about sanitary sewers. So at this time, we have not contemplated any storm related works on Mill Street. Yeah, currently, but we'll take it under consideration and we'll look at it as we go through the design. Like I think I mentioned, we are about 60% done design. Actually, we just received it today. So this is the kind of feedback we're looking for, questions we're looking for, so we can address in the final 40% of design prior to tender.
Debbie, for the benefit of the group, I'm going to take a stab at it. I believe your question might be revolve around something with the farmers market that is hosted in front of the municipal office. So in this instance, this project is not 100% to date because we do have to go through a few more processes, including tender and design, or finalizing the tender, award, it needs to be presented to council, so on and so forth. So the timeline is not known 100%. But in case of the municipality offering an alternative solution for the farmers market, we'll work with you in future to being able to establish a different place as a temporary home, or being able to coordinate works with SEMA in terms of the road closures. So access, again, will be provided at certain instances throughout the project, but we may have to be a little bit flexible and nimble in 2022 in terms of the farmers market. So I hope that was your question. If not, again, reach out to staff tomorrow. We have one from our mayor.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to get clarification from Stuart. You were saying after phase one, you were talking that they would actually pave that section of the road before the whole thing's completed?
That would be the intention right now. I would like to get the road back open to traffic as quickly as we can. When we move to stage 2, which is the portion from the drain south to Elginfield Road, I would like to shorten the detour, put traffic back onto Parkhill Main Street at Mill Street. So I want that portion of the road paved so that the traffic that is continuing to head north is driving on a paved road.
Okay, thank you. That would be that would be very good if we could do that. That's a good part of the project.
I might mention one of the things we probably will recommend when it goes to tender, depending on timing, is to wait on the top lift of asphalt until 2023. So when we do these pieces in sections, Mayor Ropp, it will have a nice, smooth, continuous final course of asphalt at the end of the project, but it will certainly be drivable and it's very safe for travel. It might look a little bit rougher than we'd like at the final product, but at the end of the day, having it, giving it the winter to settle in some cases, we don't anticipate much here, but just leaves us with a nice final product that should last us for our expecting 18 to 22 years.
Thank you. History tells us that's a better way to go about it anyways, doesn't it, for settlement? Thank you.
I'm going to kind of keep this rolling a little bit. So not quite a reset, but I'll add 10 minutes, which is an extra 2 to 3 minutes at the back end. So 10 minutes for more questions and answers. We have a question from Monica Carter. So Monica, I'm going to ask you to unmute again.
Yes, hello.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead, Monica.
Yes, you were mentioning the trees that are existing and whether we can report any that are in bad shape. Do you have any plans for planting new trees along Parkhill Main Street?
So to the question, Monica, that's what the survey is out for. This is the kind of things that we're looking to hear tonight, right? So if the general consensus is that we want to see more trees, we want more, we would hope that people would fill out the survey and that would start to show in the survey. But yes, that's exactly why we're here, for like things just like that, questions like that, and comments like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Going to keep to the kind of rule here. So we're about 9 minutes now. So 9 minutes for question and answers.
I know neither you mentioned this, Jonathan or Stuart, but just so people who are listening, if you're expecting more materials to be presented, that's all that we have for today from the municipal and the engineering design side of things. So we're just here to answer your questions. If you've stayed with us this far, we thank you for joining us for sure, but there won't be any additional material presented. We're just here to answer your questions, and we're sitting quietly, but we're certainly waiting anyone who wants to chime in. And as Jonathan said, more than happy to answer questions by email, especially if you have very specific questions about your particular address. Those we'd like to receive. We can look at those in more detail. This is the time for that. And as everybody keeps saying, please fill in those surveys. If you haven't as of yet, please do so. It's really valuable for us to move this project forward, to make this a vibrant community for everybody who's involved and everyone who lives and visits Parkhill. So thank you.
Stuart, thank you, Chris. Stuart, would you mind going through the section again about how traffic will be detoured through the project? We had a question about that. I know it's a little bit of repetition, but I'm not going to really kind of hold to that time again, just so if you can give it a synopsis.
Certainly. Are you able to go back to the slide there, Jonathan, or not?
Should be able to. Just basically gotta find it here, Stuart. I think I closed it out, Stuart. I'll have to pull it from my email quickly.
Okay, well, The plan right now is to proceed with the construction in 3 stages. The first stage basically being the construction of the works between Parkhill Drive and the Cameron Gillies Drain. So for that portion of the road, we were looking at full closure of Parkhill Main Street with maintaining local access. So we would complete the construction of the water main, water services, and the sanitary sewer upgrade through that portion, and then proceed to restore the roadway to base asphalt, to Chris's comments earlier, get that restored to base asphalt. We would then proceed with stage 2, which would be the construction of the works between the Cameron Gillies Drain and Elginfield Road. The new water main to be constructed, tested, disinfected, and placed in service. All service laterals connected to properties fronting on Parkhill Main Street. The roadway would be restored to base asphalt and then reopened to traffic. Stage 3 would be the portion of the water main extension on Elginfield Road and Elliott Drive from Parkhill Main Street to West Park Drive. For that portion, we're anticipating that we would keep the roadway open, maintaining a minimum of 1 lane of traffic at all times. Traffic would be controlled by flag persons to get vehicles safely by the construction area. So in order to proceed with the construction in that sort of staging, for stage 1, we were looking at detouring traffic between Elginfield Road and Parkhill Drive along West Park Drive, Mill Street, and Station Street. When we go to stage 2, which would be the portion south of the drain, Parkhill Main Street will remain closed and traffic will be diverted onto West Park Drive, up to Mill Street, back to Parkhill Main Street, where they can then continue on north and out Parkhill Drive if that's where they're heading. The final stage, as I said, is we will keep the roads open with some restrictions on Elliott Drive and potentially on Elginfield Road, but we would maintain 1 lane open, a minimum 1 lane open at all times.
Thank you, Stuart. We had another question come in. How is the project going to impact downtown businesses? And I'll take this one on. So it is certainly going to be a disruption for businesses along Parkhill Main Street and otherwise, the route for the destination to Grand Bend from London. We recognize that. Every attempt will be made to stage this properly, and it's a great segue going into what Stuart just recapped with again. So making sure regular access to business is going to be really important. Signage and wayfare as well in terms of delineating that the area is open for business is also very important. The last thing I would like to note is that we'd encourage businesses to take advantage of our community improvement program that we recently just approved last year. Insofar as meeting us at the end of having a grand opening. So while we're in construction, there's nothing to say that certainly these businesses should be taking advantage of some of the funds available from the municipality. That can be coordinated with municipal staff, and we'd ask you to reach out if you think you qualify. And we're here to try to help as much as possible. So if you have a great idea, reach out and we'll consider it through the construction phase. With that, I'm going to add about 5 minutes to it because we just given another Q&A opportunity. So another 5-6 minutes. there any more questions? Any more questions? About another 4 minutes? We don't get any more questions. I think John Lampman's twins might be coming down pretty soon to get them to go to bed, put them to bed. So he's looking for a way out. Any more questions?
Jonathan, I would like to make a comment on this project and just how well the county and North Middlesex has worked on this project, how well we've done. The county has held off paving this Main Street Parkhill for 2 years to allow us at North Middlesex to get our act together and get everything ready to go. And so I just wanted to put that shout out to the different levels working together. I mean, it's just one taxpayer, and we want to make sure we're doing this the best we can. So I just wanted to make that comment.
So I think we'll just kind of take that segue with those final thoughts from the mayor. Oh, and there we go. And I'd like to thank everybody who was here tonight, who had some questions. The presentation from SEMA, Chris Straney from the County of Middlesex, and Jonathan Lampman for going through the Public Information Center tonight. Again, this is being recorded. It will be available on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll provide the information on our website. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. That we can answer these questions. And the best way of actually being part of the process is to fill out the survey that's available online. It would go a long way to being able to have that information and determining what this project for the residents of Parkhill, and we encourage you to do that. So thank you very much tonight, and we hope to hear from you shortly.